Here at MacGyver's Workshop, we build, fix, or re-engineer just about anything. You never know what we'll be working on next. And if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. Okay, so you do is get you a punch with a kind of a semi-flattened head on it, and get right on that center pin, which is a harder steel than or harder metal than the rivet is. Tap it on out of there. There you go. See, now all you have left is a soft aluminum to drill out. Okay, now at this point we can go ahead and pull the window glass up out of our way because we don't want it to get damaged, but you have to be careful that you pull it up evenly. And if your weather stripping in your channel's any good, it'll hold the glass up real nice and you won't have any problems with it dropping back. Okay, now we will take and drill these two rivets out here. This may be hot. Okay, that one's starting to spin, so you can put a little pressure there to hold it maybe. And that'll take care of that. Okay, and I lied. That's actually an 11mm socket, or 7/16 to you, those of you not metrically inclined. Now, you're going to have to finagle around this bracket a little bit because these nuts are pointing down at an angle a little bit. Thankfully, the bracket's flexible enough to where you can get around it. And it's a locking type nut, so it's going to fight you the whole way. And there you have that one. This one's going to be a little tougher, but we can manage. Alright, so once you get your top bolts out of here, sadly you are going to have to remove the window glass to be able to get those studs out of there. I'm not brave enough to try to finagle it, put any pressure on that glass and then have it shatter on me. So what you want to do is remove this bolt here, which is the lower adjustment for this track. And that'll give you enough finagle to turn the glass, like so. And of course we'll pop these out of here. That'll catch on the weather strip on the way out. And then we turn our glass like so. Okay, so it's a lot easier to get the glass out if you pull this trim off here. It just slides out, and then remove your bit that's right here. That relieves a lot of pressure off of the glass, and then the glass just slides right on up out of there. So at that point now, we can slide our regulator out of there. Believe it or not, it's still a bit of a tight fit on the outside skin of the door. And then finagle it out through here. And there you have it. All right. So I'm back at from the parts house with my newly remanufactured power window motors here. And when you get the remanufactured ones, they usually won't have the wire on them for some strange odd reason. So you have to make sure that you cut the wire off of your other motor that has the connector on it. And in this case, thankfully, the colors match, so that's good. Make sure you go red to red, yellow to yellow. If you get an uber super cheap reman unit that has different color wires on it, make sure you check the instructions as to which color goes to the red and which goes to the yellow. In this case, I've seen them that way. A lot of your online retailers that sell the remanufactured motors, they may come with different color wiring on them. And in a worst case scenario, you just may have to twist stuff together and put it in there and see which one's right for up and down. Either way. So now I cut my wires off there when I went to turn my core in. So I'm going to strip off some of this here to tie to the new motor. And what we're going to do is we're going to also use some heat shrink here to protect our solder joint. So we shall slide that way down. You want to slide it way far back because you don't want the heat from your soldering iron to start shrinking your heat shrink. Now I know these come with those little rinky-dink crimp connectors. I don't even bother with those. I don't want to have to go tearing back into a door because those things didn't work. They got corroded and quit working. Any good, well-equipped workshop is going to have a nice, big, high-heat soldering gun. This one's a dual heat, 230 watt and then 150 watt. It's up quick and does big stuff like this. Very easy. Make a very slim splice here. You don't want it to be any bigger than the outside diameter of the insulation. And heat your gun up. See, this gun heats up very quickly. Tin the tip a little bit. Put your tip on there. And float in real nice. You don't have to be King Kong with it and goob it all in there. That's all you want right there. And then we'll do this one. Strip a little more off of that one, huh? On a good mechanical splice as well as a one with the solder. You don't want the solder to be the whole entire connection. Solder is more so there keep it from unraveling. and you want to let that cool down real good before you slide your heat shrink back up over there. So we're going to set this aside and do the other motor here. Okay, so that's a few minutes later. Now our wires have cooled down off of that first motor we did. And what we shall do here is and you slide it right over your solder connection there. And there you go. Don't melt the crap out of the heat shrink, but just hit it real quick with the lighter and there you go. Yeah, see, I got that one good. I don't have to mess with that one. And just give it a quick blast with a thick lighter and away you go. And that one is ready to install. Alright, now it's time to put our regulator and all back in. I suppose we could try and install it with the motor. Two of them started. Third one's a piece of cake. There we go with that. Let's mount our regulator mounted in here. Little nuts back on in here. Okay. You may need to loosen these two nuts back up here to get all this stuff to line up. These two holes to line up down here. Either way, not too terribly big a deal. And there you go. I'll set this one in here. And there you have it. That's all done. Now if you line your bolt back up with the position where the washer had made an indentation in it, it'll be just right. Okay, so no perfect job goes with without a gotcha. So my rivet gun is not doesn't have a long enough snout on it to get in there, to reach in there to install that pop rivet on the window regulator. So we're going to have to do a field modification and use a 1/4 inch nut, bolt, and lock washer, and we'll put some Loctite on there. Have to work in here. Get that started. And there we go. Sure that the window goes up and down smoothly, because the fact that it didn't is why you burnt the motor up in the first place. Very nice. Alright, now we've got our wire tied out of the way and verified that the window goes up and down nice and smooth. Go ahead and put all our stuff back here. Tuck it back down in there nice and tidy. Now this stuff will never ever stick back exactly like it used to, but that's okay. We also have to remember to now put our put our trim back in here, our weather strip molding here. Then we're going to flip our little thing out here to make all this work right for the Alright, so now we have our door panel latched back in and all our little screws and everything. We'll pop our trim back in here. And voila! She is done. One final check. There you go. I call that a good fix. So, now you know how to change the window regulator and the power window motor out on a 96 Grand Marquis Hoopty mobile. So, I appreciate you watching, and of course feel free to comment. Always welcome everyone's comments, and please subscribe. And you know, a little bit of money I make advertising on the channel here, that helps, you know, pay for all the things we do here. So anyhow, you can also email me directly at MacGyversWorkshop@gmail.com, and I check it pretty regular. So got any questions, pop it in there, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks again. Take care.